Earlier today on the Lou Dobbs Tonight Facebook page, I asked for your thoughts on the possibility of a Rahm Emanual 2016 ticket because there is a lot of reports and some suggestion that he's interested. Jeff wrote in to say, if he gets elected, I'm moving to Central America. Well, sounds like a no vote there to me. Tim writes, the trouble with politicians, they become legends in their own minds. You know, I think that is about as succinctly put as one can, many of their problems. Joining us now is the A-Team, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, Fox News contributor Judith Miller, former Clinton advisor, Fox News contributor Doug Schoen, and from Washington, D.C., senior opinion editor for the Washington Times, Emily Miller. So many Millers. It is Miller time. So, Doug, I'm going to start with you.
Absolutely.
The idea that Rahm Emanuel wants to run, is he floating this, or is somebody just trying to make a little trouble here?
Well, Lou, let me tell you a little secret about politicians.
All right.
From the city council on up, they all think that lightning will strike and they'll be elected president. There was this Illinois state senator once who lost a race against Bobby Rush for Congress, and look where he ended up. So I think Rahm Emanuel takes this very seriously. Yes.
What do you think, Judy?
Well, I think if elected, we would certainly need a word censor in the White House. I mean,
I got a kick out. There's a hashtag on Twitter on Rahm Emanuel expressions. I can't remember what the heck what it is. Rahm Emanuel speaks, I guess. But it has more, what are they called? F-bombs?
Expletives.
Expletives. That was the word I was looking for.
Deleted.
Lou, I think nothing makes Republicans happier than the idea of the Democrats nominating Rahm Emanuel for president in 4 years. That's just a real boost to the party. I mean, he's got to be the most unlikable person in national politics today.
So you suspect that Reince Priebus is behind this, is that right?
That's right. Reince Priebus leaked the story, exactly.
Well, let's turn to talking with Jennifer Korn tonight from the Hispanic Leadership Network, a Republican outreach to the Hispanic community. What do you think? I mean, she's talking about changing the way they talk, changing the tone, but not changing the meaning of what they are prescribing in public policy. Does that really work?
No, of course it doesn't.
Well, wait a minute. What about Obama? That sounded like him a little bit.
Well, I would tell you Obama was able to sound differently than what he really means. The 2008 and 2004 Obama are very different than how he governed and how he plans to govern.
So they should just basically, and I've got to ask, you know what, I'm going to ask these folks when we come back, why doesn't the Republican Party just copy everything that Obama and the Democrats have done? They've succeeded. The Republicans have failed. Why not borrow a little bit or even steal from the Democrats? We're coming right back. For the A-Team, the president, Emily Miller, is on his way to West Palm Beach for a lovely weekend after spending a day trying to control gun violence in the murder capital of America, his hometown, Chicago. Your thoughts?
Well, it's quite a contrast, wouldn't you say? Spend the day in Southside Chicago and then take Air Force One to Palm Beach to go golfing for the weekend while his wife is skiing in Colorado. But what was so strange about today is Obama goes of all places to Chicago, his hometown, which has the highest murder rate in the country. It's going up 20% a year, and yet has the strictest gun laws. And that's not an accident. Those two things are happening at the same time because the criminals know they're the only ones with a gun in that city. None of the people can defend themselves. And those laws that Rahm Emanuel is pressing and pushing and wants to increase are leading to more and more death.
Even though the Supreme Court has ruled against the city of Chicago, and clearly so, they have still one of the, if not the toughest gun laws in the country. And 506 people murdered in Chicago last year.
And their murder rate might be even higher if they didn't have those gun laws.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Look at the rest of the country. The rest of the country has the right to bear arms in the rest of the country, even though an appeals court recently overturned Illinois' law, so they do have to rewrite that on bearing arms. But the rest of the country, crime rates are going down, murder rates are an all-time low, and we've had a massive increase in gun ownership and carry laws. That's not, you can't just say those are by chance. More laws, gun laws, do not decrease crime. It's been proven over and over again.
So you're saying more guns decrease crime?
Right.
Absolutely. More guns.
By the way, statistically, it's absolutely true. Violence in this country, violent crime has dropped by a third. It's at the lowest level in almost, well, over 50 years. It is no accident. There are more people. By the way, I want to ask you something.
Please.
The president is sitting there in Chicago. 506. This is the first time of his entire presidency that he's gone to Chicago to acknowledge the deaths that are taking place. The first time. What in the world is going on with that kind of reticence from a leader who says he is concerned?
He made a determination, Lou, that he was not going to take on issues of urban poverty or urban crime in his first term, and now that he's safely reelected, he probably feels that he's able to do that. So I think it's, in his terms, smart politics.
Smart politics.
That's right.
Emily, what would you call it?
I would call it pandering to the left. I mean, we've known Obama's wanted to go after guns for 4 years. He just needs to be reelected, and he's exploiting this horrible tragedy in Newtown to start this ridiculous assault weapons ban or high-capacity magazine ban. Once again, the CDC did a 2-year study on every gun law in this country and showed proven that not one gun law led to less crime or prevented mass shootings. This is the government, and the CDC is not a gun-friendly organization within the federal government. So, you know, this is an emotional appeal and nothing else.
When police and sheriff's organizations agree with you, Emily, then I think we can talk. But they don't. They're all in favor of these control measures.
That's actually not true. And many sheriffs...
Everybody wants background checks.
That's not true. A lot of sheriffs are saying they're not going to enforce any of these federal laws, and the elected sheriffs.
The distinction that I think Emily's making there, and if I may, is that the sheriffs are typically in this country elected. The only elected law enforcement officers, and their associations do not fall in line with the appointed police chiefs across the country because they are dependent upon the, if you will, the good wishes and will of their mayors in every case. I want to just say thank you all. A terrific panel tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Doug,
having
thank
me.
you. Emily, thank you. Judy, thank you so much.